Hello, everyone, and welcome in to Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast. It is Thursday, May 29th, 2025. I am, of course, Mike Straw, one of our senior editors here at Insider Gaming, joined with me, as always, by fellow senior editor Grant Taylor Hill, A to the P, Albert Perkins, our senior producer, and the Gong Lord himself, Mr. Tom Henderson. Fellas, we're 1 week away from all being in LA. How's everybody feeling?
Man, it's calm before the storm right now. I feel like this hasn't been that busy a week, but next week, woo, I'm looking forward to it, man. We got so much planned next week.
If this is what calm looks like.
I feel it is. I feel it. We've had a couple of bits and pieces pop in. Nothing like groundbreaking.
Man.
Yeah.
But then again, I am out of touch.
In.
So
you are Grant out of touch Taylor Hill. AP, how you doing?
Mikey, I'm doing great, bro. I can't wait to get to the City of the Angels to meet you guys. It's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to covering all things SGF. And man, like every single time there's one of these events, man, it's always like crazy stuff happens within the industry news-wise right before it hits. So yeah, this is essentially the calm before the storm, if you want to call it that. But whew.
Here you go.
Buckle up, man. Buckle up.
Tom, how about you? How you feeling after last week? By the way, before Tom answers how he's feeling, just because we say something on this show, we're going to put up a disclaimer. Tom brought it up before. We're going to put up a disclaimer for every episode.
I'll record one. I'll make one. Yeah.
Unless it's stated that it's a report from us, or you can find an article on insidergaming.com. These are opinions. So you don't need to run it. You don't need to run over to somewhere and, say, hey, this guy said this, and everybody jump on board. So with that, Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Calm before the storm, like everyone's been saying.
That's 3 times now. 3 for 3. It's valid.
It's valid.
I'm right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really excited to meet. I mean, I've met Grant before last year, but to meet both of you guys as well. So it's going to be some fun times. And yeah, a lot of work, I guess, which is all right, I guess. We're in an industry where work is pretty good, right? So we write and talk about games. So yeah.
At least we have.
I have a concern the next week for you, though, Tom. It's supposed to be like 30 degrees. How are you going to manage with your balaclava on? Are you going to get a bit sweaty under there?
It's just a part of me now, so like I'm just.
Okay. It's fused to your skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom will have like a built-in fan in it. Just
yeah.
it'll have a liner that's an ice pack, so we'll pull it out of the freezer and it'll just be a nice.
And he has his spy glasses over the top as well. His AR spy glasses that he has.
Yeah, I do wear it everywhere though. Like you're gonna be in for a shock. Even when I go swimming, public pools, all that kind of stuff. Roller coasters.
Oh man. Talk about breaking the fourth wall.
Everywhere, yeah.
Of course. Of course, this is Insider Gaming Weekly. We air live every Thursday, but we are also on every streaming platform: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, and on YouTube. Leave us a like, subscribe, leave us a rating. Everything you do helps grow the show. If you want to be involved, you can leave us a chat. If you want to help us continue putting out great episodes like this each and every week, and you want to guarantee your question gets read on the air, consider leaving a super chat. We do have one we will get to in a minute. And make sure you are signed up at the Insider Gaming forums at insider-gaming.com/forum. We have a lot of things planned for it, but it is the only place where you can guarantee that you can comment on every single Insider Gaming article. And we'll have some announcements and new features coming soon, but more on that another time. Before we get into it, we have a lot to talk about. EA layoffs, Black Panther being canceled, a lot of rumors, a lot of smoke surrounding EA, and our predictions and preview for Summer Games Fest and Xbox Game Showcase. Before we get into all that and get into the biggest topic of the week, which is what we've been playing, we do have a super chat from Brandon Martin. Hello, gentlemen. Any news on Resident Evil going to be at Summer Games Fest? Hopefully you're having a great day. We are having fantastic days, at least I'm going to speak for everybody. And I know we're going to get into our predictions, but with this right off the bat, it's hard for me to not think it doesn't make an appearance in some way, shape, or form next weekend.
Yeah, I feel like it makes perfect sense for it to be there. Yeah, Summer Game Fest is the perfect venue for that to be shown off. I think, and it's been shown off there in the past too. Other our games too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah.
Confirmed.
And I
Party.
know-
Mhm.
Yeah. So that pretty much to me all but guarantees it.
Yeah.
Let's ask Dust Golem.
Oh God, I know these games have so much, which you can have that report. That's at insider-gaming.com as well. But before we get into more predictions and more news of the week, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the one we love the most. What have you been playing? Grant, gonna start with you this week.
Man, I usually come in and say I've been playing like 2 or 3 games, but I haven't this time. This time I've been dedicating my time because I finished Days Gone Remastered. I think I clocked in like 90 hours. Oh, but I didn't say I got the platinum. I think I said last time I was like 1 achievement away, or trophy, sorry. Xbox Kid. I got the platinum, and it was like, I think the first game in like 10 years I've platinum, so that was really cool.
Congrats, that's
and-
awesome.
I mean, it's an achievement or a trophy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But for me, it's been the last week has been Death Stranding because I got Death Stranding when it came out, and I don't know why it just didn't click with me, and I was like, I think I flaked out. I mean, I don't even think I was double-digit hours when I flaked out. So I'm going back and I'm giving it a fair shot, and I'm enjoying it a lot more this time around. I don't know if I've like matured as a gamer or something. Maybe my pacing has slowed down a little bit, and I prefer that, that style now where you can just really take it slow and walk around and enjoy the scenery. But it's super applicable now because Death Stranding 2 is just like a month away. So hopefully this is really cool and I can finish the game before it comes out, and then I can just like segue straight into the next one. And it helps that Albert and I might be seeing a little special someone at Summer Games Fest next week.
Indeed. Oh,
So
yeah.
it would
Me.
be,
Yeah.
yes,
Me.
Tom.
Yes. Yeah.
Funnily enough, someone even more special than Tom.
Oh.
But yeah, we should. I should have at least completed his most recent game before I speak to the guy. So
Meh.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Meh.
Ugh.
You have to. You can just Google.
I
what
mean, it would be
happens.
nice. I can't
You
go
can
up
just
to him and
look
say,
up what happens.
I'm
You can
such
watch
a
what
great fan
happens.
of yours. I've not completed any of your games for 10 years. Though.
AP, what about you?
Oh man, you know what I've been playing, man. You don't even have to ask, man. Just start singing the
Doki
Chocobo
Doki
song.
Literature Club.
Just start singing the Chocobo song, man. You know what it is. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm in the next to last chapter of the game, finally. Bro, I'm on the Temple of the Ancients. I'm almost there. So if all goes well, whenever I talk to you guys next week, I should be on the final chapter of the game. If not, maybe even have it completed. So it's been obviously absolutely amazing. What a freaking journey, man. I mean, obviously, I think I'm like, I want to say I'm like 60 hours in or something like that, bro. It's insane. And it never ceases to amaze me either, as far as like the graphics and whatnot. Every time I fire that game up, it's just absolutely stunning, especially on some of those, enhanced cutscenes that they have. I wish all of the cutscenes were like that, honestly. My God, it's just incredible looking. But yeah, anyways, coming along very nicely. And like I said, I should have it completed by next show, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And, you'll know all about that for sure. Aside from that, I've been just rocking College Football 25, which we have a little bit about that later in the show. And that, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a prediction, but it is a what, Mike?
A spoiler.
Yes, sir. Well played. Well
Two
played.
on the two on the other side of this 4-man window have no idea what we just did there.
Chris just like stared like what?
As soon as if it's anything to do with any sport that hasn't got the letter E in front of it, I'm so outside of the realm of understanding. Like
It has. I mean, what we just quoted has the letter E at the end of it.
Fair.
oh man,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
man, it's not good enough. You got to put
Tom,
that
how
E
about
right
you?
front and center.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been following the crowd this week, and I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Seen a massive resurgence in players the past week,
I
and
need to get on that.
honestly, like going back to it, because obviously it launched it was in a good state when it launched, but obviously it had a lot of problems around monetization and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't get the immediate love that it should have, and now all of that has kind of been squished, and I think the last number I was quoted is they're getting something like 300,000 to 400,000 concurrent players across all platforms.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
Which is
Yeah, man.
insane. Yeah, like, I
That's
think
nuts.
I think the highest was 18,000, right? But Steam is the least played platform because it was on.
Should
what
be
was
EA
it?
Play, isn't it?
Yeah,
Origin,
EA
Play,
Play.
Origin, whatever they call it now.
It's been on
That's
Xbox
crazy,
Game Pass
man.
before. It's been on PlayStation Plus before. I think a lot of people just played that game on consoles anyway. But yeah, for a 2017 game, it's phenomenal.
It genuinely is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan out there, but I love Battlefront.
Yeah, if that
Great game.
released today, I don't think there would be any squirms on like the graphics or the playability or anything
Man,
like
it holds
that.
up.
And
Tom.
I've also been playing another game that I think Mike has been playing a lot of, which is Rematch.
I was just about to say
No.
when it got to me, that's exactly what I was about to bring up.
Yeah. Well,
That
I'll let you
game.
take over on Rematch. Yeah.
I spent the open beta on PlayStation and PC went live last night on PC, this morning on PlayStation. I spent 4 hours last night playing it. I plan to spend another like 4 to 5 hours tonight playing it.
Wow.
When I say I'm hooked, I am hooked on this game. Like, especially when you have a team. When you're in a team, like queue problems, they had an issue with servers last night where queue times were taking like 15 minutes to get into a match. But they pushed an update today that seemed to have solved that.
Nice.
It is right now. I'm even before it launches in June. I'm confident to say that this might be my game of the year. Like I have the same feeling with it as I did with Balatro.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the game though, Rex, it's going to be. Is it $25, $30?
$20.
$20. With the content that's in the game, because I don't know if there's announced that there's going to be more content in the game or not, but
or it's 30. Sorry, it'll be $30.
Oh, $30. So, well, even more to the point then. To me, it doesn't feel like there's enough in there to justify it, and I'm not sure because Rocket League released at a premium price, right? I think it was probably around the same.
I think it launched at 20 or 25. I can tell you right now.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if, like, I don't know, like if there's a scenario where they get bought out or whatever and they go free to play like Rocket League. So I think this game's got a lot of potential if it is free to play. But I just don't know if it's got enough. I don't know if it's got enough there to push it forward into, the months ahead, because fundamentally it is very basic.
I think it has. So Rocket League launched at 20. This is at 30. I think with what they plan and what they hope, the gameplay will be it'll be the selling point, kind of how Rocket League was. Rocket League got the content eventually.
Yeah.
And then eventually, bought out and then became free to play, which is what it is now. I have a feeling that this is what they're hoping with. My confidence level in how this game is doing or will do is the fact that it had a peak of 148,000 people last night on Steam for an open beta. Right now, it's already hit its peak 23 seconds ago. As we're talking, it hit its peak of 157,000 players on Steam alone.
That is wild.
In a free open beta. So even if 50% of that in Steam buy it, like,
yeah,
that's a good start. And then you got console coming in, which usually is going to be more than what you get on Steam for a game like this. It just, I don't know, everything about it just feels smooth. It's fun when you have a team to play with. If you're soloing going into like 3v3 or 4 or 5 people matches, it can get kind of frustrating because you have those ball hogs and stuff like that. But when you have a team of players and you're in position and you're making plays, the feeling of it, it's just everything you'd want in a sports game. The fact they were able to take the fluidity of the movement from Sifu, which to me was a fantastic action game, and they just brought that fluidity into a sports game of all things, a complete shift from what they were doing. Like, that's a win. I think they're in good shape. I might be. I'm excited to play more. We'll see in a month after when it comes out and how many people are on with the paid, and then a month after that after playing it for 4 weeks or whatever. But I'm excited, and that's probably all I'll play this weekend while prepping my Steam Deck for some games on the backlog for the flight to LA next week. But we need to move on to the news of the week, the stories of the week. Before we do, make sure you are subscribed and you leave a like on this video. You can also subscribe to our weekly newsletter, insider-gaming.com/subscribe. Goes out every Tuesday morning, Eastern time, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. with a recap of the news you need to know, upcoming game releases, top forum posts, exclusive columns, and more. The big story, and you say we heard calm before the storm so many times. It doesn't feel like it's all that calm because we have EA doing EA things, canceling Black Panther, shutting down its developer Cliffhanger Studios before we ever saw anything from the game itself, and in an internal memo saying that they were going to focus on fewer franchises. Before we get into that, we will start on the cancellations. It was first reported by IGN's Rebecca Valentine, who was sent the email from EA Entertainment President Laura Meal saying to staff of the cancellation closure, "These decisions are hard. They affect people we've worked with, learned from, and share real moments with. We're doing everything we can to support them, including finding new opportunities within EA where we've had success helping people land in new roles." And Meal also said that the decision was made to, quote, "sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities." As far as the number of people let go, EA declined. Public information suggests that the studio had about 70 to 75 employees. So you'd have to assume my guess is maybe like 10% of them would likely be moved to different games. Who knows? We don't have that number yet, but we're looking at a decent amount of layoffs. But AP, I'll start with you. I was so just bummed. This was part of a 3-game deal between EA and Marvel, and now one of them is not even going to come out.
Unreal, man. Dude, what's going on at Electronic Arts? I mean, the last time we saw this game, like you said, granted, it did just have, cutscenes and everything, but the concept, it just looked so damn good and exciting. I was pumped for this. And I mean, I don't know about you and everybody else, but Black Panther is definitely one of my favorite, one of my favorite Marvel characters for sure. And to have the opportunity to dive into that world would have been tremendous. I was really looking forward to that. It's just a gigantic loss. And again, I don't know what EA is doing between what has happened, with this. Obviously, there are issues with Dragon Age earlier this year. I think FC is underperforming. Other canceled projects, of course, as well. I don't know. If I was working at EA, man, I'd be getting the F out of Dodge, man, if I worked there. Like 3 layoffs in a year. And it's only May.
Not even a year, 5 months.
Yeah, it's freaking, yeah. It's May. Like, what is going on, man? I don't know. The future just does not look bright at this studio. And it's definitely alarming at this point, to say the least.
Grant, 3 layoffs from EA. This is now the 3rd or 4th game cancellation from them this year alone. What are your thoughts?
I mean, every time it comes up and it's EA, right? I don't think it's ever really that much of a surprise anymore. I just, this is why they said we're focusing our attention on, what was it, like The Sims, Apex, Battlefield. It's like, well, yeah, that's because that's all you've got left. Like, you don't have anything else left now. Where are your studios going? I think one of the concerns that came up was like about Iron Man. And I think in the chat, I saw the term mentioned. Yeah, Fuzzy Muffin was talking about if EA didn't have the Anthem assets, would Iron Man be getting canned as well? Which is funny because we were talking about that earlier on, like theorizing how they could be pulling off Iron Man, and I was like, oh, they could make the flight mechanics like they are in Anthem and whatever. I think Iron Man's just stronger IP overall. Motive's got the track record there. Cliffhanger, as far as I know, they never pushed anything out. This was their first and only game, and obviously that's it's gotten we never saw anything meaningful on it. I think I was saying earlier on as well, like how the Black Panther brand or whatever you want to call it, it only really popped up and gained mainstream, if you'd call it that, popularity in 2018. I don't know, maybe they did some kind of projections or something. Like, I know there's a lot of buzz around it and everything, but I feel like it's been a couple of years at least. We've known that this has been in the works, and we haven't seen anything. And you kind of, the writing's a little bit on the wall there. When it gets that long and you've not seen a thing about it, like, it's different if it's something like Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 6, because you know that's not just going to wake up one morning and be gone. But a studio that's never released a game, that's underneath the umbrella of a corporation that is known for making layoffs and cutting studios and stuff, you've always got to be in anticipation of that stuff getting shut down. Like, you have to be on an absolute wing and a prayer to be working for these studios under EA now. But a lot of people, they don't have the choices, because you know, a lot of them, like you say, they get relocated. So, you know, you get people who will get shut down from one, move to another, and then that will get shut down too. We've seen that happen. So I know, you know, they're streamlining, right? They always say things like, from the corporate level down, like how the decisions weren't made lightly, and, you know, we take into consideration the, you know,
corporate talk. Yep.
I mean, it is, but at the end of the day, like, it's still, there's some truth to it. You know, we look at like the whole shareholder talk and the investors and whatever, they want return on their dime. You know, they want to see some get back on their investments. And I guess if they look at it and they size it up and they feel that something's not right cost-wise, where something's got to give, right? It's the same in any industry in the world. Everyone's streamlining. I mean, we talk about this every week. I feel like there's another studio, another game. Like, globally, there's cutbacks, there's layoffs, there's studios and companies closing down left and right. You know, I think we talk about gaming being on someone mentioned in the chat, I think Donovan was talking about gaming being on like a spiral, industry spiraling. It's like, man, the world is spiraling right now, man. It's everything, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be transparent. I wasn't like, Black Panther would have been one of those games that I would have played to play it. I wasn't really looking forward. Like, it wasn't on my like must-have list. I'm not really a huge fan of superhero games, but I mean, it sucks to see something get shut down like this. But I think if it had got further along the line and we'd seen some trailers and stuff, and, you know, it would have been a harder hit. So.
Yeah, the game, according to rumors about the game, you were basically going to choose the next Black Panther. It included characters such as T'Challa, M'Baku, Azari, Shuri. Every Black Panther was going to have unique skills and gadgets and armor and stuff. It was a third-person action game. Story awesome. That reacted and changed based on your decisions, which everybody loves in these types of games. So it seemed like it had a nice foundation. I don't know. It bothers me. EA said, and Tom, what are your thoughts on this one? EA, like, they said they were going to put more focus on franchises like Sims, Battlefield, like Grant said, Apex, Skate was one of them, because I mean, they're putting a lot into that. But that, like, those would be the small main franchises. But then they said there's still heavy support for games like Iron Man and Motive and Star Wars Jedi Respawn and the next Mass Effect at BioWare. But it feels like we saw it in the chat. A couple people don't think Iron Man's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either.
I mean,
that's
another game we haven't seen anything. That was announced before Black Panther, wasn't it?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
All we've ever seen is like that, like one splash image of like his chest or something.
Yes,
That's it. That's the image that everyone uses when you do an Iron Man article.
The issue with EA, and I think they've been on this course for a while now, especially since they dropped the FIFA license, right, is they just want to get away from licensed games. We've seen them drop FIFA, that they chose not to do Battlefront 3 because of the Star Wars license. They've dropped, I believe they've dropped F1 now, right?
Dropped
WRC. There's rumors
and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, all right. So like, there's all of these things with the licensing, and it just comes down to basic economics, right? Like, this was a couple of years ago, and I asked a developer who worked on Battlefront 1 and 2 and Battlefield. I said, why is Battlefront 3 not going to happen? And he basically said, well, at the end of the day, we can create Battlefield, which is going to sell the exact same copies that Battlefront will, but we don't pay the 20 to 25% licensing fee. So they need to sell 20% more copies. And when you're talking 10 million, right, that's 2 to 3 million more copies that you need to sell just to be exactly the same as you was with a game that isn't licensed. But yeah, on Black Panther, it's just a little bit confusing because I never really saw Black Panther as like a major Avenger. Maybe that's just me, but when I think of like Captain America, the Hulk, Spider-Man, I don't think of as Black Panther as much, and it's just surprising that they did go down that route in it, especially for like you said, Grant, for a studio like Cliffhanger that I don't think have released anything, right?
No, they were
No.
formed in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
So like if we just take the basic economics, and again, like this isn't kind of putting the wool over the facts that people have been laid off and stuff, but was Black Panther going to do 6 to 7 million copies? I don't think it would have, to be honest.
No.
And that's what it would have needed at like a $250 million budget, right? Because of course you've got the licensing fee on top, so you're probably talking 6 to 7 million units. But maybe that's just like me thinking of it a bit too level-headed, going straight for the economy side. But
Yeah,
the
I don't know. I
reality
kind of felt I'm kind of on the same boat where it felt like it would have maybe a little better, but it felt like it would have had the same sales impact as Star Wars Outlaws. That's what it felt to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not enough. Whenever I mean, like, to your point, Tom, you're talking about the licensing. That's not enough.
No.
You're seeing the knock-on impact as well, like across the other studios, like this ripple effect, no pun intended. Respawn dev coming out saying that like morale's at an all-time low across the studios now. It's like everyone's sitting there, edges of their seats, waiting for the drop. Right? Must be a horrible time to be under the EA banner.
Yeah, I just it's decisions as well, like when they cancelled the Mandalorian game, right? Like again, like obviously they would have paid the license, but I think that game would have done. That game had potential to do 8 to 10 million,
especially because how popular the show is.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Like they're not taking. I don't think a lot of these C-suits are looking at like the transmedia potential and tying in releases with how popular shows are and so on and so forth and coinciding it all together.
You release that like around the time the Mandalorian film releases next year, it would have just blown up for sure. I feel like
definitely.
Yeah.
The idea, people are talking in the chat, like they learned that with FIFA with the licensing and like FC doesn't fell on the EA Sports side because people have talked about it in the chat. EA Sports, according to the report, granted there's more coming with this, is unaffected right now by these changes. EA Sports and EA Entertainment are viewed as two different things. It's kind of like the EA Sports. EA Entertainment is what EA Games was, for those who are unaware. EA Sports has college football, Madden, EAFC, NHL, UFC 6, which, from what I know, has all of the marketing ready to go. It's just whenever EA decides to pull the trigger, they got their plan. EA usually is stiff to their plan. They don't like to, on the sports side, cannibalize promotions of their own games, but kind of might be a case where it's like unavoidable in this. And then there's also been the work on and off of Fight Night. I don't know what the state of that is right now with everything happening. I wouldn't be too confident right now. Like, I'm personally not confident with everything going on, especially with what else might be happening at EA, because there are rumors circulating that EA is going to have yet another mass layoff round, and this time it will impact the EA Sports side of things, including one studio that is the nearly 40-year-old Codemasters, who are just set to launch officially tomorrow F125, which is the last in the current license agreement between EA and Formula One. Negotiations have been ongoing, but I don't know. You brought up the licensing thing. I don't know how keen EA is to spend a lot of money to keep it. And I know there are at least 2 publishers ready to jump on board when negotiations are available for them to jump in and talk. One, you can kind of guess what it is. I don't want to say it, but it's pretty obvious. And the other I'm still trying to track down. But yeah, it does not look good right now for EA. And I kind of am worried. Like, I feel bad for all the people like BioWare. They're working on the next Mass Effect. After Dragon Age with Mass Effect, like, how much added pressure does this have to be? Respawn, 2 games canceled, and then you have developers posting on social media that the morale is at an all-time low within Respawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you supposed to do if you're working at these companies? How are you supposed to be motivated enough to put out fun games and good product?
Yeah, when you're constantly like looking over your shoulder or refreshing your email in this case, which by the way is absolutely
if you
despicable.
can get into it.
Yeah. You know, it's just unreal, man. Yeah.
How hopeful are you guys that EA will, I don't even want to say turn around, because they're going to come out with their earnings. They just did at the beginning of the month. They're going to come out in July with more earnings, and they're probably still going to be profitable, just not as profitable, especially with college football. Well, college football won't be a part of it, but they're going to be profitable, but not enough for what the suits want. Like, how confident are you that EA is going to turn things around right now? Because it's hard for me to be.
I think it's a quantification thing, isn't it? It's like we don't know their thresholds for a start. We don't know what their baselines are, or what they would class as being a turning point, or whether they all see it as being as them operating from a position that requires a turning point right now. I don't know. We obviously look at it from a different perspective. I think they've got there's a lot of hope at the moment. And I think it's on a precipice, right? And if the next few projects come out and they are shaky, then we could be looking at like dire straits for EA. Like I say, Battlefield, they've obviously got a lot of stock in Battlefield, all the playtests they've been putting out for it. And, the crazy reaction they had to Battlefield Labs, everything that we've seen so far, and like the hype train for Battlefield is running pretty wild right now. I say that as being a Battlefield fan for the last like 20 odd years or something ridiculous. Like, they're putting a lot of stock in it, and if that flops, considering it's now one of their pillars, one of their cornerstones of the business, now that they've started shrinking down their portfolio, if that kind of stuff starts crumbling, then I think then they start to have tough discussions about whether or not what the longevity is going to look like for them. But I don't think right now they're in too much of a dire spot, to be fair.
Yeah, I know EA, like they said, FC 25 did not meet expectations. Still brought in a lot of money. Didn't bring in the money they expect, because EAFC, the sports games, basically fund everything else. And if anything drops, like, their budget includes, like, we expect this amount of money. And the first year without the FIFA license did not go the way they thought it was going to go.
No, it did not. No.
Before we move on to topic number 2, there is comments about like Marvel 1943. Luckily, that's not EA. It's supposed to come out next year. That'll give you the Black Panther fix. I was gonna
say, do you reckon EA looked at everything that is going on with Marvel 1943 and they thought with what Cliffhanger was doing with Black Panther that it just wasn't going to be up to par? Like, because Marvel's 1943 then sets a standard, right? And anything below that standard obviously depends on budget and allocation of resources, so on and so forth. Do you think that they could have looked at that and was like, it's just where we've got a very subpar game to this?
It's definitely possible. I feel like they would have fans would have compared the two, right? Yeah. What do you think, Mike? Yeah. What are you thinking?
I don't know. It feels weird to think that's what they'd give a damn about what,
Well, it could be
studios doing.
It could also be like how well the fan reception to the trailer was on that game. Like, the hype isn't as strong as what we thought. So, our projections are going to change, and eventually means that it needs to be cancelled, so on and so forth. But just leaping back to the whole like future of EA and stuff, and I think this isn't just an EA problem, right? It's an industry problem. Every single publisher that has such a massive portfolio of games, our favorite publisher included Ubisoft, right, is that they're going to consolidate down to 4 to 5 major IPs that they know no matter what, it's going to do numbers, right? Like Call of Duty is a prime example where no matter what they do with the Call of Duty IP, it's going to do $1 billion in sales. Same for Battlefield. Even though 2042 was trash, people are still going to buy this game. Same with FIFA. Same with all these other games. So I think it's more of a consolidation of the entire industry, and I think that it is going to have quite a big impact with AAA games because the risks are just too high now. Nobody wants to take a $200 to $400 million risk. I think Concord was kind of the catalyst to all of these decisions.
Yeah, feels that way.
But yeah, it's just it's not an EA problem; it's an industry problem. I mean, it's going to lead to a lot of creativity, though. I think that a lot of these big game directors and stuff that have had really successful games are going to just probably found their own indie studios and get creative that way. We've seen some great indie games the past couple of years, and it's exciting in that regard. But in terms of like big blockbuster games, it's just hard to see who or even why a publisher at this point would take the risk on a new IP, for instance.
We had a question of Blazing Flame, the IGN statement to IGN that there's 2 other Marvel games coming from EA. So EA had a deal for 3 games. One was Black Panther, one was Iron Man, and then there's a third unannounced game. Obviously, Black Panther's done. You missed that part, but to recap, I don't think anybody here thinks Iron Man's going to be a game that launches at this point. And then I don't know. I wonder if Marvel hasn't said anything, by the way.
They won't, right?
Has not put out a statement. Yeah. Part of me wonders if they're going to pull back and say, don't even bother with the third one.
I mean, it just depends on the contract at the end of the day. It could be that the Black Panther one, obviously is void, but then they could replace it with a Hulk game or whatever. Like there's probably still options there, but I think like the writing's on the wall pretty much. And if Iron Man does get cancelled, but going back to Grant's point, it depends on how much resources Motive can pull from Anthem. So I think they've got a good foundation there with Anthem.
Yeah.
But if that gets cancelled, then it might be the case where they're like, right, let's just completely scrap the deal altogether.
0 for 2. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Imagine if Iron Man is not what we think it's going to be at all, and it's like a live service multiplayer game where you have to go around, everyone customizes their own Iron Man suit of armor, and it's man, could you imagine?
Yeah,
DC Universe Online, baby.
It's literally just Anthem, but they've just like replaced.
They just put some Tony Stark sound-alike in it, Robert Downey Jr. sound-alike. Everyone has the same voice because that's all they want to hear.
I'll tell you what you can play, Alley Cat. What do I got to do to get a Superman game? Go play this legendary game for the Nintendo 64 called Superman 64. Or play DC Universe Online. I don't even know if the servers for DC Universe Online.
It is crazy how we haven't got a Superman game, though.
How tough is it to do a Superman game, though?
I mean, the movies have sucked. The movies have sucked.
Yeah, but the IP, man, would just sell.
Yeah. It's Superman. Like that's everybody,
I feel like modern day, though, that's one of those games that's probably really tough. Because obviously you've got like the super speed, the invulnerability. It's
you
like
just do everything.
You're not going to die. And like,
that's got to be kind of tough to code. Yeah. I can see where
they've got those games like what's that one VR game where you are like a superhero and you can like blow up planets and fly around and stuff. It ended up being like that. Like it's just
I guess it could get boring, right? Like
exactly. You're not bound by anything unless everyone has kryptonite weapons. You want something that's it's boring.
All right, we got to move on to the next topic, but real quick, I want a Spawn game too, Raiders. I would love a Spawn game. Spawn is the best. Spawny, he's our man. If he can't kill him, no one can. S to the P to the A to the on. Topic number 2. Summer Games Fest. We move on to good news, hopefully. Summer Games Fest and Xbox Game Showcase next weekend, along with other showcases. There's Wholesome Direct. There is Day of the Devs. There's so much coming. Friday, July. Geez, I'm skipping a month. June 6th. We will all be there. We'll still have coverage from the rest of our great team at insider-gaming.com with Andy and Brian and Josh and everybody there. It will be a fun time had by all, but we are here to talk about our thoughts and predictions because a lot of people are talking about it in here on certain games. So this is basically a roundtable. Tom, I'm going to start with you. So you can say something, give your opinion, and someone will post it on Reset Era.
Why?
Yeah.
Someone will post it and say, Tom Henderson believes. Please don't do that. I'm asking now. Don't do that. It goes for everybody in the chat. Tom, wink at the camera if you know Kingdom Hearts 4 will be there.
Oh, man. Right. What I'm going to say about Summer Games Fest is that I think it's going to be a good show. I do
Henderson
know...
predicts Summer Games Fest will go well.
I know quite a few games that are going to be there, but just to like temper expectations, anything I do say is just a prediction. I'm not going to say the games I know that are going to be there because of, I don't know, there's these weird things called like embargoes and NDAs that I've been dragged into with this.
I know. We're now starting to get into them.
Yeah, it's horrible. Usually I just say it, but anyway, they released the list of, was it around 50 partners?
60 plus. Biggest
60
event
plus.
yet.
Yeah, and this was, they said this was the first round, right?
Yes.
So there's even more coming, but just because if anyone's looking at this list and they see a developer or a publisher, don't instantly think, oh man, this game is going to be at the showcase, because it isn't. These are just partners that are going to be there in some capacity. It could be just a sponsor, it could be a behind the scenes like playtest / preview, it could be a whole load of different things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few big names on there, and there's a few that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more on. But I don't really want to give my predictions, to be honest. So
don't. Fuzzy Muffin asks, "What's the shadow drop?" I honestly, I don't know. I feel like there's too much smoke for it to not be Arc Raiders.
Yeah, what I will say, here we go.
Yeah.
There is going to be
that rubbing was his face. He actually went and took the baklava off.
Can I stop
talking about food?
Cheeks up, yeah. There is going to be a new studio there that is by a very well-known singer / lead of a band, and they are going to have a new game there.
And I don't want you to say it because obviously, but I guarantee there is no one who would post their thought on who it could be in the chat would get it right. If anybody would be able to guess it in the chat, I'd buy them a Nintendo Switch too.
Oh man, even if they get it right, like, let's do 2 layers to this. Guess who it is, and then guess what the game is.
I know.
Like in terms of the concept of the game, because when I heard it, I was a bit like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
But yeah, we'll leave it as that. I'm looking forward to reading the comments.
Molly, the question was, who do you think the band member is that will be making an appearance at Summer Games Fest or have a studio that they're involved in, and the type of game it would be? It's not Jack Black.
We don't know if it's actually going to be revealed there. I don't think, or do we? I don't think so. But it is going to be there.
Is Arc Raiders coming? I believe Arc Raiders is coming. Grant, what are your predictions? What are you hoping to see most at either? We'll stick with Summer Games Fest for this.
Yeah, that's one of them. Arc Raiders is one of them because in box, I mean, all of the paid play tests and stuff shaped up really well. There was a lot of excitement for Arc Raiders, way more than other extraction shooters like Marathon. I like the look of Arc Raiders. I didn't get access to the tests or anything, but if they shadow drop it, I'll be there for it. We know Hideo Kojima's going to be there. In what capacity? I'm guessing Death Stranding, but he's got a lot of stuff cooking right now, so it could be anything. So that's cool. It's always nice to see that guy. We love him. Techland posted a little teaser on their socials. They responded to the partners list with a little eye emoji, so we can almost guarantee there's going to be a release date for Dying Light the Beast, which is supposed to be coming this summer. 1047 was there for Splitgate 2. You've got I have a list in front of me because there were so many on there. IO, so we might see something about Project 007 or whatever.
Yeah, boy.
I was interested to see CDPR on the list. Like, what are those guys doing? I don't imagine they're showing more for The Witcher because they only just dropped
maybe
their trailer.
maybe involvement for the show.
For the what?
For the Witcher
Oh, okay,
show.
yeah, of course, yeah. I'm just completely blanking on what Tom said a minute ago. It's like, people would be like, oh, maybe it's something early for Cyberpunk 2. But as I think it was Sanche maybe today, I think it was covered the expectation that it's going to be like 2030 until it releases. But you never know. They showed off 2077 like 10 years before it came out. So you never know, right? There's a few bits and pieces on there. Like my expectations I think I've got more expectations for Xbox than predictions than I do for Summer Games Fest. Like I think Summer Game Fest is probably going to have more surprises, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it's a bit, because when it's the Xbox showcase, it's a bit more contained, where Summer Game Fest, anything can pop up, absolutely anything. But it's really hard to predict exactly what's going to be. But we'll be there for it. Front row.
I also want to throw
a
quick prediction before Albert's predictions. I've got a feeling that we're going to see Death Stranding 2.
Holy crap. Man.
We might do.
Kojima's always there, right? Like,
yeah, he's going to be there.
Him and Keeley are BFFs, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you see
it when Jeff Keighley announced that Kojima was going to be there? The comments was like, Kojima's basically a co-host at this point.
I love it.
Man, funny.
Solid. For me, I could see maybe a final trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, because marketing has to be starting to ramp up for that, because we're getting closer and closer to the release date for that. I know we've been talking about Marvel a lot today, and this kind of makes me a little worried, since they had the huge leak, but it's been a long time since we've heard anything about Marvel's Wolverine. What is going on with that? Could we maybe see something at SGF for Marvel's Wolverine? Hopefully it makes an appearance there. And then of course at the end, Jeff always has something at the very end, almost like one last thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like, he'll have something there for that. I mean, it could be too early, but maybe, just maybe, we end up seeing an update on the latest Elder Scrolls game, maybe?
No,
that'll be more Xbox.
No, too early, too soon.
We'll get to the Xbox One in a second.
Okay.
There's only one. I don't even know if it's a prediction, but it's a demand and desire. There's one game I better see in that whole show, and it better be Silk Song.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm tired of waiting for that damn game. I'm gonna play it no matter how pissed off I get. I'm gonna play it because I need it, and that's my one. I think I do think the rumors about Resident Evil and RE9 are accurate. I would also like to see something on Jurassic Park Survival. It's been 2 years. We haven't heard anything on that.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
So, and I know a couple people in the chat brought it up too. Before we move on to Xbox game showcase, someone asked, it was Alley Cat, how much does it cost these companies to show their game at SGF? I'm glad you brought that up, because we're going to go on last year's prices. I had that story open
Was it like $150,000 or something?
to
it's
go.
gotta be
Like a
something
30-second
crazy.
spot or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
it is way, way more than that.
Oh God.
For a 1 minute spot, it was for last year, it was 250,000. Minute and a half, and this is
Man.
USD. I should preface.
Bro.
For a minute and a half, it was 350. 2 minutes, 450. 2.5 minutes, $550,000.
No
Is-
wonder like these
I mean,
events
what?
aren't happening all the time now. Like no wonder E3's like
I mean, is it the most watched, or is that going to be the Game Awards, or
No, actually I think the Game Awards last year surpassed Summer Games Fest Showcase just because of the timing of it.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, like Jeff does the
Yeah,
metrics a bit differently, though, right? Like he always combines everything all together rather than like concurrence on a single platform or
yeah, that's how people do. Yeah,
Fuzzy's
say-
onto something. This might be the price this year. 600,000 your firstborn.
For 30
Imagine-
seconds.
And then
Yep.
Molly brings up, like, no wonder devs have their own showcases now. I mean, that's a big part of it.
It's a great point.
Especially if you're a smaller studio. Like, granted, not every studio is going to be paying. You're going to see an indie game on there. You're going to see a small indie at some point, either there or during the Game Awards or during opening night live, that did not pay $250,000 for a minute or whatever it might cost. There are going to be deals to be made, but this is basically like the average price or what they're looking for from studios. Here's another prediction. Yeah, Little Nightmares 3 release date from Bandai. We know Bandai's going to be there.
Yeah, that's a good
But
shout.
granted, they're probably going to be there. There's going to be something on Night Rain because of the fact it comes out on the 30th, so tomorrow from our recording.
Kanga said how about a new Metro game as well, and that really speaks to me because I'm so hot for a new Metro. Like I feel like it's already been like a decade since Exodus came out, even though it wasn't. And we know they're working on it, but we've heard nothing. I don't think Summer Game Fest is the right stage for it. I don't know if they've ever announced or revealed anything at Summer Game Fest, but man, I'm jonesing for a new Metro game, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't know who. I'm trying to think who published it. Deep Silver.
Yeah,
and they're a play on. I don't know. They're an Embracer owned studio, so who knows what Embracer is going to do. Embracers, other than cut studios and lay people off too.
Yeah.
Emo Pac-Man, Shadow Labyrinth. Yeah, Shadow Labyrinth. I think will be there as well. Last thing before we move on is this upcoming Summer Games Fest going to be huge in terms of new announcements. I think Grant, you led to it. You feel like this year it'll be more surprises.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Is this
I
the
can
one they
see
do the
that
thing
too.
where every so often it cuts to like world premiere, or is that the Game Awards?
No, this
I
is
can't
this.
remember what.
Yeah,
They
this
blend
dude- yeah.
all this Jeff-led stuff just blends together for me, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Got such a big chokehold on the entire industry now.
Yeah, man.
He
The guy's
does,
raking it.
crazy.
yeah. I'm
Mhm.
not sure. Xbox Game Showcase though.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one you said you're more excited for, Grant. So starting
There's
with
a
you
lot,
this
lot
time.
of pipe dream stuff, man. Lot
Yeah.
of pipe dream stuff.
What do you think will be shown, and what do you hope will be shown? Start with what you think.
Okay, so Handheld. We had like a
Yeah.
little snippet of it. They started teasing it like a week or two ago. So I imagine they'll show something for that, even if it's only like the Asus, as we know it now, and then it's got like a little Xbox button, and then like a little, the UI is tweaked or something. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting State of Decay 3 because I think it is well and truly time to give us a date or a window or something for that, even if they just say 2027 or something. State of Decay 3 is definitely up there because they did a really nice trailer for it last year. So I want to see more. Something Halo, something Gears, something Fable, maybe Gears E-Day, or the what was it? There's the name of it.
Reloaded, is it called?
Reloaded. That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah, the
maybe-
remaster of the remaster.
yeah, exactly. Maybe something for that. And I think one of the strongest prediction that I have for Xbox, the Xbox Showcase, is Starfield's DLC, because the next DLC, because all of the timings line up, to where it should be. They said one a year, one major expansion a year. We had Shattered Space last year. They revealed it at kind of the same time. Well, rather they revealed the date for it because obviously we knew it was coming before the game even came out. So I think something for Starfield, definitely. When we look at the pipe dream stuff, though, we are saying, AP mentioned it, Elder Scrolls 6, right? Maybe they keep up the ESO hype from ESO. Sorry, that's a different game entirely. They keep up the Elder Scrolls hype from Oblivion, and they roll into something for Elder Scrolls 6, even if it's just like 10 seconds and a year.
It's been like 3 years, I think, right? Since we last saw that little.
No,
3, 4. Is it longer?
Like
It's been longer.
years.
Has it really? Oh my god!
We are at
what
was
having
the
fun.
We're longer. The gap between now and the announcement of 6 is longer than the gap between the release of Skyrim and the announcement of 6.
Yeah,
wow,
it's crazy. It's crazy long.
That's wild.
And then,
I didn't even realize
I'm sticking to the remaster front because there were the whispers recently about how it is in the works, but it's going to be a lot longer than we expect, and it's Fallout 3 remastered because that is. I'm just holding out hope for that one to emerge at some point and to materialize because we're likely not going to get a new mainstream or a major Fallout release probably until the 2030s. So a Fallout 3 remastered,
so
chuck all the DLC in, give me all the expansions, and that'll keep me sitting pretty for a while. So hopefully that, but I doubt it. That's pipe dream.
The fact that it's likely I will have been in my mid-20, I've been 24 when Fallout 4 came out, and probably 44 when Fallout 6 comes out. Maybe
nuts, man. Fallout 6,
5. Sorry,
it'll bother me game.
so much. Well, I had 76 in my head for some reason.
Oh, okay, yeah. No one ever counts that one for some reason.
5, like it bothers me. It goes in, and that's a whole different topic. Just how long it takes. AP, what do you think?
Yeah, so for me, obviously, I talked about Elder Scrolls, but one game that I think that we, a lot of folks want to get more details on is what's up with Fable. It's been, how many times has this game been pushed back, right? At this point, it's been at least, I want to say at least 2-3 times. What's going on with it? I think a lot of folks are really interested in seeing what the direction is with this, and if we're going to be seeing it anytime soon. For sure. A lot of folks were really excited whenever they announced that they were rebooting it, bringing it back, and now we just haven't had anything hardly at all. So I want to see something about that for sure.
I think it's about time we get Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been toying with more Final Fantasy on Xbox. That's going to happen. I really hope we get some news about Halo jumping to PS5 finally, whether it's no matter what it is. Halo on PS5 is I don't even want to call that a pipe dream because we know it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just is now a pipe dream.
It's just
and then something brought in the chat. Contraband.
Yeah,
we haven't had anything.
I'd like to see some updates on Everwild.
See, I completely forgot that was a game that existed until like 2 days ago.
Yeah, by Rare.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see what's going on with that. I think the last we heard about it was last year, like late last year, like October, November time. And it was just that the update was that the game's going well. So we haven't heard anything official in a long time. So yeah, it'll be nice to see that.
You know what I'd like to see from Rare? Here's the pipe dream. Banjo-Kazooie. Never going to happen. I am confident that we will never see another Banjo-Kazooie game in my life.
No, probably not.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it. But
yeah, I think the Xbox Showcase it's time now, right, to announce the next set of games. We want to see some 2026 release dates, and further on down the year they can do their own little showcase and verify some release dates. But yeah, I think as well it'll be nice to see confirmation of some more games going over to PlayStation. So I feel like they've got past that whole weird point now where they can just probably do it like at the Xbox Showcase. Hey, Halo's coming. Hey, what else needs to go over to PlayStation? There's another game. Starfield.
Starfield,
Yeah.
That's coming too. That's another when,
Yeah.
not if.
Mhm.
And obviously we're going to get a Sea of Thieves trailer, right? So yeah, I don't know what season they're on there, like 20 odd probably, but
Seems like we get
I'm-
one of those every year.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of still surprised that game has lasted as long as it did. I don't know when it was first when Sea of Thieves came out. It just I don't know. It didn't feel like anything special, but man, it's
Apparently its latest update is something that
lit,
a lot
yeah.
of folks were really, wanting initially in the first place. So yeah.
I wonder because I know like when Indiana Jones was confirmed for PS5, that happened at Gamescom at I think opening night live, correct? Last year. I wonder if those types of announcements of Xbox game coming to PlayStation would be at like a Summer Games Fest compared to at an Xbox showcase.
Yeah, I could see
yeah,
that.
maybe. Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, it might look kind of negative on Xbox's side.
It's like, hey, we're not confident enough in our own console,
Yeah.
so let's talk about games coming to another console.
Right.
So yeah,
Not a good look.
I don't know. Is there anything that bold prediction time, something that no one's talking about that you would love to see from either of the shows next weekend?
Hmm.
And keep in mind, whatever you say will be run as a story.
Half-Life 3.
Exactly. Well, I think
I'm not on Tom's level. I ain't gonna run me.
Goat Simulator 4.
Oh, there it is.
And
Yes.
it's called Goat Simulator Forever. Like forever.
Oh my god, like Shrek forever after.
Yeah.
Man.
I like it.
What about
But
you,
yeah,
Brad?
I guess for me, I mean, I did mention Marvel's Wolverine. I feel like that's one. No one's talking about it right now, right?
it
I
feels
feel
like
that'd be-
Where's Venom?
it feels like
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna get Wolverine first, but sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I was just gonna say it feels like we are due a very strong PlayStation showcase because we haven't heard from like Wolverine, like we haven't heard from it in a couple of years. Obviously, that was a part of that was the
leak.
the leak and the hack and all of that horrible stuff that happened. But just PlayStation in general, these past couple of years of I don't know, like the showcases and the PlayStation experiences or whatever they do, because they usually do it in a state of play format now, right? Like they just haven't felt as big as usual or as they was 3 or 4 years ago. And I want to see the next, like I want to see the latter half, what's coming in the latter half of this generation, because then probably by next year we might start hearing about the next gen consoles, and then it makes it difficult for them to announce a game after they've announced the next gen console to come into the previous one, if that makes sense, or they can't lead too far in the future with some games coming to next gen. So it's like in the next couple of months, it feels like we need a good, strong PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
I agree.
For as much as Xbox has been killing it, I feel both now have hit a lull. Xbox had been killing it late last year into this year so far, but yeah, I don't know, both. And then there's Nintendo, like we always talk about. Nintendo's just over there doing their own thing. That comes out next week too, by the way, the Switch 2, in case anybody's wondering.
It's crazy, right? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. I've got one pre-ordered and I don't know, it's like there's no marketing or anything for it.
Because there's no games.
Yeah,
everybody's like freaking out. I was like, oh, the Switch 2. I was starting to get a bit of FOMO, and then I remembered there's only one new game coming out at launch, and it's Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart. Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, it's a Mario Kart game. Yippee. Everything else is years old at this point that's coming out at launch, and it's like, we've already played it. Everybody who wanted to play, I said it before in a past episode, wanted to play like Cyberpunk or Hogwarts Legacy or whatever, they've already played it. They don't it doesn't matter. They'll probably sell a little bit well, but I don't know. I just can't see it's the launch lineup is absolutely brutal for a console that is overpriced for the power it offers. Anyway, Grant, do you have a bold prediction for next weekend?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I've got my pipe dreams and stuff out of the way, talking about like Elder Scrolls and Fallout 3 Remastered and stuff. I can't anticipate anything that could, blow our minds. So probably not. No.
GTA 6 being brought forward to 25. Like they reversed the delay or something.
Man, they announced it's coming forward by like a week or something, just to troll everyone.
Yeah, dude, that'd actually be really funny. GTA 6 has a new launch date. Oh, here comes a delay. May 25th.
Could imagine.
Or 2026. Like one day, just move it up a day. Then you got Grant on social media the other day. Happy GTA launch day.
Because people genuinely, I mean, I know everyone's just joshing out there, but there were probably a few people that thought May 26th. Hold on, I swear GTA 6 is supposed to be coming out today. They're going down to their local retailer, like, oh, can I have a copy? And they're like, yeah, of course you can. I'll just go out back and get it, and they just never come back. Man,
I remember when I was a kid. Sorry, it's just a little short story. When I was a kid, I asked my mum to go and buy me Black Ops because Black Ops just came out and I wasn't young enough to go and buy it. And she went into the shop and she said, "Do you have Black Orbs, like an alien game?" And like ghosts and stuff. And like the guy was just looking at it like, what is this?
Man,
that's the equivalent. Hey, go into the store, ask for some blinker fluid.
Yeah.
Crazy fluid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm hoping for? Or my bold prediction is we're going to find out at one of these shows. We're going to get a surprise announcement of a revival of a dormant IP. I have no idea what that is, but I think we're going to get one IP that's been dormant for at least a decade that we're going to get an announcement of.
Didn't
Sega announce all of their like
last year? Yeah, they got like 6 games.
Crazy Taxi and all that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do another round of that, or maybe like release dates.
I know. We got a new Shinobi coming. We got the Crazy Taxi. We got we got new Streets of Rage in development.
Like, we got about that. Like Alley Cat throwing Resistance in the chat, man. I've done so many like throwback articles and stuff just of things that I'm desperate to see revived, and the one that I always go back to is Killzone, and it came up recently because I think the composer was saying something like, he'd really like to see or even like a remaster of the trilogy, but I think the consensus was like it's too bleak for today's gamers, like they wouldn't like it because it's all like drab and morbid, and but I would give like an organ to have Killzone rebooted or something, or anything like that, like talk about Infamous or something, or like Resistance. There's all these old PlayStation franchises, man. The Getaway, man. Someone said Simpsons. Give me Simpsons Hit and Run 2, man. Come on.
Breaking news, according to a report from Jez Corden from Windows Central, Xbox is sidelining their plans for a dedicated first-party handheld for next gen.
They don't need to, man. They're
piggybacking. Instead, they're going to reportedly focus on Windows 11 handheld gaming with third-party partners.
Yeah,
so basically what they're doing with like Asus and stuff like that. So, but next gen Xbox is still coming, but they have sidelined that. So that just dropped. This is the second week in a row we've done something where news dropped near the end of our show. Before we wrap it up, what if this happens? It's the end of Friday night. It's all quiet. Every game's been announced. We get the one more thing, and then finally, the rumors are confirmed, and it's real, and we get that announcement of the new Dogman game. No, Half-Life 3 finally gets announced. I don't know if Valve would do it.
I prefer Dogman, to be honest.
Me too, 100%. Yeah. My son has been introduced to it. Now I'm so happy. But I don't know if they do it at a showcase like this. but I feel like it's a game and a series big enough to where this would be a perfect place for them to close out like Summer Games Fest of saying Half-Life 3 is real.
I think they should flip it, man. Have it all come up to the final announcement. Jeff takes to the stage, giving it all, full gusto. The lights go down, everything, and it's like the most unexpected game ever, and it's just so pointless. Everyone's just absolutely deflated. Like the anticlimactic measure
Everyone's
of it
like,
is just,
huh?
Viva Pinata
just
remastered.
like that,
What about like Medal of Honor or something?
I'd lose it. I would lose it for a new Medal of Honor game.
Speaking of
That'd be
dormant
wild.
IPs,
In a new Medal of Honor game in the spirit of the original, not the 2015, not that Medal of Honor.
What, you don't want to go back to like
that was Battlefield Light.
Warfighter was that was something special.
But if I got something in the spirit of like Medal of Honor, like Frontline or Allied Assault,
go all the way back to Resistance. That was one of my first.
I was going to say Rising Sun. Just remaster that.
Oh man,
Rising
Sun.
I
got that for my birthday when I was like 10, and I took off school to play it, and I was like, because I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know to this day. Right? I was a massive fan of the Pearl Harbor movie. I love the Pearl Harbor movie, and then the game came out, and I was like, wow, it's basically like the movie, but like in the game, and I was in love with that game, man. Absolutely in love with it, and it was one of my favorite. And then I think I don't know if I found Call of Duty at the same time or after or whatever, but it completely steered me away. But Rising Sun, man, that was so good. The opening sequence with Pearl Harbor, and you
that's
go
one of the best.
harbor.
Yeah,
oh, man,
it's one of the best opening missions to a game ever. That
man, so good.
Like you're just getting off your bunk and all the sirens are going off.
Fires are going off. You got
man battle stations and all
shoot
that.
Down the zeros, man. Oh yeah.
Good
in junior in the background screaming because he's got one plane down.
Yeah, Grant's having like a euphoric moment over here.
Man, I'm living my. I've got some flashbacks, man. You didn't know, man. You weren't there, man.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I wasn't. I was in my home playing what?
We're probably playing the same game.
No, back in the early 2000s, I was still playing Delta Force 2. That was my shooter. Like Medal of Honor Frontline, then Allied Assault, those two games, but Delta Force 2 was like my shooter. Left 4 Dead 3 is the final announcement. I don't think that's a series that'll ever come back, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe in 20 years, but I don't know. Same with like Portal. I don't think we need another one of those. And there's also the BioShock rumblings. Yeah, Raiders brought it up. There's also BioShock rumblings.
Yeah.
But
The stuff that was found recently, wasn't there some references or something? Maybe.
But with that, it is time to wrap up. Next week's show, up in the air. We are still figuring out what we're going to do because we'll have just landed in Los Angeles. And the two people over here that have 14-hour flights think they're going to be tired.
Right. I need to wake up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Tom's going crazy, man. Tom's going crazy.
So I would have been awake like I don't know how long, like 24 hours.
Just here, guys in the chat, everyone. I don't know about you, but it sounds like
if we don't go to Money in the Bank on Saturday, we're going to make our own in the bar, and I'm going to choke slam it.
You got to lift this 215 pounds of mass.
And I'm finding a ladder and I'm jumping off that on your head.
Breaking news. That's gonna what shows up on Reddit and Icon Air and Reset Air and socials. Tom Henderson. How do you know it's him? Balaclava. Jumps
doing the Jeff Hardy thing on top of the ladder. And then, whoa!
Just starts doing this jump.
Just turn it.
Oh yes, and as we wrap up, Fuzzy Muffin. Thank you for listening. Thank you to everybody who tunes in and joins the chat live. We did drop a change to Insider Gaming. Last year in May, we started doing reviews. After a year of talk and me being badgered over with why this is better, we are moving to a scored system from the buy, wait, and skip. We're moving to a 5-point score system just to kind of eliminate ambiguity in what it means. Like, okay, we say we buy a game, but all right, is it a great game? Even though the review should say it, but some people like that that specific section with the score. So we are moving to scores as of June 1st. And then, so the whole new review policy is at insidergaming.com. All the way at the bottom, there's a review policy link. You can get it there. Check that out. In the meantime, it's time to wrap up. We always have these. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'll get us out of here in an hour. That never happens, but it's always within this time. You can follow Insider Gaming at Insider Gaming IG on Twitter, insider-gaming.com on Blue Sky, Insider_gaming on YouTube. Also, Insider Gaming Trailers is a new channel we have launched with all the latest trailers as we can get them up, thrown up there as they come our way. Insider Gaming News on Facebook. You can find me at Mike Stroud Media. Grant is at Newcov_. Tom, look for the red snowmobile, Tom Henderson. AP is at the weekly wrap up. But AP, it's time to turn it over to you to take us away and send us home off to LA and Summer Games Fest.
You know it, man. We'll see you guys all out in LA. Make sure you keep it locked over at insidergaming.com for more coverage for the big show next week. And of course, for Mike, Tom, and Grant, I am, of course, your host with the most ATP, Albert Perkins, and we will see you on the inside.